I remember the sound before I remember the blood. The sound of fear. Not screaming, not crying, but silence. The kind of silence that settles over men when they know. This day will decide everything. The earth near Zama was dry, cracked, hungry. It had already tasted too much death. Only later will I tell you my name. Only later will I tell you who I am. Because on that morning, I was not a man. I was a weapon. Before the battle, there were words, carefully chosen, sharpened like blade. Hannibal Barca stood across from Scipio. Two minds that had studied war like priests study gods. They spoke calmly, quietly, as if tens of thousands of men were not waiting behind them, ready to die. Hannibal offered peace, not from weakness, but from exhaustion. Years in Italy, years hunted, years winning battles, and still losing the war. Scipio listened, then refused, because Rome had crossed the sea for one reason only. To end this, Africa was no longer safe for Carthage. Not since Massinissa chose Rome. Massinissa, king of Numidia. My king. That is when I will tell you who I am. My name is Adherbal, son of no famous father. Born under the open sky of Numidia, raised in the saddle. I learned to ride before I learned to speak. I learned to kill before I learned to count. When Massinissa allied with Scipio, we did not hesitate. Carthage had used us, betrayed us, treated us as tools. Rome offered something different. Respect, purpose, a future. So we rode. The Roman army landed in Africa years before Zama. They burned the land. They shattered Carthaginian allies. They forced Hannibal to abandon Italy, the land he had bled for. When Hannibal returned, he returned older, still dangerous, still brilliant, but alone. At Zama, Carthage gathered everything it had left. Around 50,000 men, Libyans, Carthaginians, mercenaries, and 80 war elephants. Rome stood with fewer infantry, around 35,000 Romans and allies. But they had us, the Numidian cavalry, fast, patient, unforgiving. Scipio placed us on the wings. He knew the truth of war. Battles are not decided in the center. They are decided where men break. Then the horns sounded. The elephants came first. I had never seen so many together, moving like living fortresses. Dust rising around them, tusks painted, eyes wild with pain and rage. Men died beneath their feet without ever seeing the enemy. But Scipio had prepared. The Roman lines opened, not chaos, control. The elephants ran through empty corridors of men and into noise, trumpets, shouts, fire. Some turned back, straight into Carthaginian ranks. That was the moment. Scipio raised his hand, and Massinissa gave the order. We rode, not as heroes, as hunters. We smashed into the Carthaginian cavalry, outnumbered them, surrounded them, broke them. Then we did not chase for glory. We chased for purpose. We rode them off the field. And then we turned back. The Roman infantry was still fighting, line against line, shield against shield, men killing men they could almost touch. Hannibal's veterans from Italy fought like ghosts, silent, precise, deadly. For a moment, it almost turned. Then we hit their rear. The sound was different this time. Not silence, not fear. It was collapse. Carthage folded inward. Men dropped weapons. Men begged. Men ran. Hannibal escaped. He always did. Carthage was finished. When the dust settled, the ground was black with bodies. Africa had chosen its future. Scipio would be called Africanus. Rome would rule the sea. And then the world. As for me, I survived. Not because I was stronger, but because history needed witnesses. And I tell you this now so you understand one truth. Empires are not born in triumph. They are born in silence. After the last scream fades.